Giving the floor now to Makis from Creative People to start his talk.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chrysostomos Psaroudakis. It's short named after Makis, which is faster and easier to pronounce. I'm head of Creative People in Greece and Britain. Creative People is an IT managed service provider covering business IT support maintenance and IT defense needs. Creative People has a strong R&D background that comes from its involvement with NATO and EU-funded research and development projects on the security and electronic warfare areas. This know-how is transferred on our customer infrastructures in the need of providing creative IT solutions that protect and work proactively for our customers. I'm here today to pinpoint some key points we should not forget regarding disaster recovery and especially IT-related disaster recoveries. Disaster recovery in general is a hot potato during the corona times, as COVID-19 put all our plans into a stress test. Disaster recovery is the core of any business continuity plan, and as the incident involves, is the most important part of the procedure of getting back to business. All business continuity plans define the purpose, the scope, and the objectives of the plan. They also pinpoint how people or departments, internal or external, interact with each other. They define resource requirements and the information flow, along with tasks to be done under certain circumstances. All those should be documented so as not to lose time when the disaster happens. Imagine you're living the disaster. Unless you're lucky luck, you should not think of how you will do it. You should act by following steps and then evaluate what you did. The main elements of a recovery plan are the responsibilities, the sequence and the description of the tasks, the resources we are going to use, who must be notified and when, all the contact information for all parties involved in this plan, the recovery steps for critical and crucial activities, and the minimum acceptable result of each step and of the plan as a whole. Every step has its own recovery time objective. We often call this RTO. The faster we can recover, the better it is. Time is always against us, and especially in crisis times. Now, one of the biggest challenges with the disaster recovery plans, it's a definition of it. There's actually no fixed recipe. There are only guidelines. You have to customize your disaster recovery plan according to the business nature and tailor it to your actual needs. This means that you must complete a business impact analysis in which you should identify which business processes are critical. Think of and identify as many tough situations as possible that should be covered in your plan. Ensure that you're covering everything you need to include, not everything you have. Everything means cost, and a higher cost can make a disaster recovery plan fail. You definitely don't want this to happen, especially while on crisis. To tell you the truth, disaster recovery planning is a job for business owners, not just employees, not just consultants or ITs. You have to take for granted that you cannot have it all. You need to think of this as a rope game. You win some, you lose some. You gain in functionality, you lose in cost or RTO. Management, with the help of its employees, need to identify which risks the organization is going to mitigate. Is it going to be an IT system outage? Is it going to be a fire? Is it going to be a burglary or a COVID-19 outbreak? Last but not least, the biggest of all challenges in all the above scenarios we have is one common parameter: the people. Personnel is the biggest challenge for any plan, not only disaster recovery plans. Is it going to be a human mistake? Is it going to be a violation? Let's take a look on it. Human mistakes increase as we're not focused or not paying attention to detail. Work from home is tough. I assume you experienced it. Personnel unavailability is an issue, and anxiety plus frustration bring up more and more mistakes. A 2019 report from Verizon calculated that 32% of data breaches involve phishing. This means that those data breaches were resulted after people being tricked. Phishing or phishing, whatever you call it, is clearly a human mistake. And during the coronavirus times, we had a lot. Why? Because people don't pay attention to detail. We are trying to do everything fast, so to get back to what they were doing or babysit their children. It's human. Right in the beginning of the COVID-19 outbreak in Greece, we put our customers to a test. We ourselves sent out a phishing mail to more than 2,000 users pretending to be the Greek Ministry of Health. The outcome of the test was that more than 20% were tricked and clicked on the link that took them on our website where directions on how to avoid out directions were given. During the COVID-19 times until now, unfortunately, we have a daily increase of 210% in attacks of all kinds against our customers' infrastructures. Phishing emails reception has increased by 150%. Ransomware incidents increased by 133%. Unfortunately, there are too many enemies, and they have a lot of weapons. Most of the time, successful attacks end to system lockdown. Ransomware attacking our files and lead to denial of service on our own systems. How to do it, how to manage it, be alert, engage people, make them care and understand how important this is. Every business continuity plan and disaster recovery plan needs its heroes, but it's not always the information and technology people. It's also the ones who fund those plans and moreover take the decision to put a line on what will be served and what will not. In the alike scenario of an emergency, just like the COVID-19 times, combined with a data loss or a breach. Creative People and I are at your disposal to discuss, put in place, and test a disaster recovery plan that will suit your needs. Thank you very much for your time. Stay safe, stay sane.
Thank you very much, Makis. So, you actually beat Steve's record. We have at least 7 minutes time left. But thank you very much for that presentation. Yours, Steve, you have four minutes left. Makis had 7 minutes left. So let's see if the other speakers could beat that too. I've actually had an interesting conversation with a friend yesterday. He said that this coronavirus did not make the system vulnerable, but it actually exposed how vulnerable our system is. It could either be the government or your company, and it actually tests how much we are capable of preparing and doing the recovery. So I guess that's a whole bunch of different topic to dive into, but thank you very much, Makis, for your presentation.
Thank
once
you.
again.